to my father, Shao Kahn. I, Mileena, Khanum of Outworld. Order your execution!
Welcome back to Marvelous Videos. I'm Rylan. A 1992 release from Midway Games launched the Mortal Kombat video game franchise in the United States. Mileena, one of the world's greatest villains, has been a terrifying adversary in the Mortal Kombat universe. Even though she was only reinstated as a playable character with the most recent DLC, Mileena has been a Mortal Kombat franchise staple since she first appeared in Mortal Kombat 2. Her influence on the franchise has been substantial. She has been a villain that fans have come to admire, whether she is decimating those who oppose her on the battleground or hatching plans to dominate the entire Outworld. But this vicious fighter has much more to her than we know. So, ready for all things Mileena? Then keep watching. However, before we get into our explanation, we have just a very small request. If you like our content, please support us by subscribing to our channel. This is just a small click for you, but for us, it means a lot. Thanks! Now, let's begin.
I find, by the gods, you are Mileena.
How did Mileena become a crucial part of Mortal Kombat? Searching through the MK timeline. Mileena, who was designed by John Tobias for Mortal Kombat 2, just to make room for yet another palette-swapped character, was the first villainous female character to emerge in the series. Tobias once claimed that he had used the fact that Kitana and Mileena were masked sisters to mimic the Veil myth. One of the sisters is gorgeous, while the other one looks horrible. One is the embodiment of good, and the other is as cruel as they come. As for Mileena's name though, Tobias couldn't exactly recall where it came from, but thought it had a pleasing sound to it, either helping to mask her ugly appearance or exposing a hidden inner beauty. Furthermore, the two female characters, Mileena and Kitana, were introduced in the game so that it can compete more effectively with Capcom's Street Fighter 2, which had just one, according to producer Robert O'Farrell of Acclaim Entertainment. The sisters were also described as the female counterparts of Scorpion and Sub-Zero by Mortal Kombat's co-creator and producer Ed Boon, and the character really materialized after Boon spotted Tobias' sketch of a masked female warrior and recommended making a clone identical to the ninjas. In terms of playability, Mileena has frequently been regarded as either one of the top or even the most significant player in Mortal Kombat 2, depending on who you ask. She was described by game players as a purple giant flash that sped across the screen and kicked their tails before they even realized that the round had begun. She was chosen by Sega Visions as the greatest overall fighter in the game due to her exceptional speed, reach, and teleport kick, which may specially deflect an opponent's missiles. Because of her speed, wide range of strikes, and possibility for the game's most spectacular combo, Superplay also named her the best Mortal Kombat 2 character.
So pretty, so fair, so sad and alone.
Her tragic origin story. Knowing this backstory, we now move on to her in-game origin story. Shao Kahn, a tyrannical emperor of the extraterrestrial planet Outworld, opted to foster Kitana as his own daughter, after seizing control of Edenia and merging it with his own realm. Even though Kitana was raised in ignorance of her origins, the emperor still worried that one day she would learn the truth and turn against him. As a result, he gave the sorcerer Shang Tsung the task of using the Tarkatan warrior's essence to create a more brutal and devoted version of Kitana, who could stand in for her if necessary. Shang Tsung went to work in his infamous flesh pits, experimenting and creating horrifying hybrids, until he finally created Mileena. The hybrid's clone's awful mouth, however, indicated that the experiment was not entirely successful, but this demon-like mouth would go on to become her signature and most striking feature. Mileena was then assigned to monitor Kitana and make sure that she remained loyal to Shao Kahn. Rather than taking the place of Kitana, he presented Mileena to Kitana as her purportedly missing twin sister in order to make this possible. While Mileena and Kitana grew up as the Khan's daughters and skilled private assassins together, Kitana was Mileena's rival, and Mileena became resentful and envious of her sister, since it seemed like Shao Kahn always favored her over Mileena. Mileena was also evidently jealous of her sister's beauty. However, despite being a clone, Mileena, a veteran of the series, possesses a fighting technique that is totally specific to her. She frequently combines quickness and martial arts with the ferocity of the Tarkatan people, tearing flesh from the bodies of her opponents with her razor-sharp teeth. But we'll come back to her insane skills later. Thus, her origin story is completely clouded and filled with tragedy. The manner in which she was created was bound to leave her with an unfinished sense of self, and the comparison between her and Kitana didn't exactly help matters that much. She wanted to be the best assassin there was, but the emotional turmoil of always being the second best in both skill and appearance made her resentful. Arguably, her terrible nature is actually not her fault at all. At the end of the day, she is the result of Shao Kahn's dark and warped desires. She is, like many other villains, a victim of her circumstances. Furthermore, Mileena, who has deep ties in the franchise's games, lives in a world distinct from the one where Sub-Zero and Johnny Cage were created. Outworld, one of the Mortal Kombat universe's 6 realms, is a fiercely hostile place full of creatures, tyrants, and woods. This realm is ruled by Shao Kahn, who, until his demise, ruled in terror. After he passes away, Mileena assumes his role as the planet's leader for a brief period, but she would soon go on to lose control of the hostile world.
You swore loyalty to my father.
Mileena's journey through the Mortal Kombat video game's story arc. Past her tragic origin story, we move on to her activities as an adult. When Kitana secretly formed an alliance with Earthrealm warriors during the happenings of Mortal Kombat 2, released in 1993, the result was as Khan had feared. Kitana learned the truth about her past, and Mileena was instructed to keep a watchful eye on her opponent. During this time, Mileena was killed by Kitana, and her spirit descended into the Netherrealm, despite her determination to stop her twin at all costs. However, Mileena battled Liu Kang and Kung Lao alongside Jade and Kitana in the 2005 beat-em-up Mortal Kombat Shaolin Monks, a reimagining of Mortal Kombat 2, but was once again defeated by the two Shaolin fighters and fled to the Waste World to ask for Goro's assistance. Mileena was condemned to the Netherrealm after she passed away and swore allegiance to Shinnok, its emperor. Mileena was then miraculously given the power to understand Kitana's thoughts during the happenings of Ultimate Mortal Kombat 3, which was released in 1995. Shao Kahn planned to revive Mileena to aid him in defeating Earthrealm's chosen warriors. Shinnok enabled her resurrection because he saw it as a chance to surreptitiously watch what was happening in Earthrealm. She aided him in this war and was nothing more than a minion to him. Her individuality was lost in his servitude. However, Shinnok's plan soon fell apart and he was defeated. Mileena was then swiftly called back to the Netherrealm after Shao Kahn was vanquished. She later helped Shinnok invade Edenia in the 1999 video game Mortal Kombat Gold, although she also let her sister escape from the dungeon. Mileena arrived at Kitana's place after Shinnok was vanquished and asked that she not be given control over Edenia. However, Mileena refused to do so, calling her a fraud, who is definitely not her sister, nor Shao Kahn's heir, making her, essentially, a nobody. This pissed off Mileena, and they engaged in battle. Kitana overpowered Mileena swiftly and imprisoned her so that she could no longer be a threat to her or her people. Years passed before Mileena was finally released to her ally Baraka during the invasion of Edenia by Onaga the Dragon King. Mileena was instructed by Onaga to assume the identity of Kitana during the events of Mortal Kombat Deception, released in 2004. Onaga wanted to fool and mislead his opponents. Mileena, who started the game's titular deceit, wished to seize control over Onaga's undead army and Edenia's armies, though she had a secret purpose of her own. Mileena also trained the child Shujinko in the Outworld, and engaged in combat with Jade in the game's conquest mode. Mileena is a Punisher type of fighter and a superior fighter to her sister Kitana. According to Prima Games' official Mortal Kombat Armageddon guide, she is able to assault from any range and even intercept high attacks and missiles, but the damage she inflicts is quite small. In the 2006 video game Mortal Kombat Armageddon, Mileena also took control of Shao Kahn's citadel while still wearing the Kitana disguise. She also made the decision to keep up the pretense until the Edenian forces became sufficiently corrupted to follow her as her true identity. Although initially certain the Outworld belonged to her, Mileena was forced to disclose herself and submit to the resurrected Shao Kahn when he launched an attack on the castle to reassert his authority. The Emperor then gave Mileena the order to seize Shujinko, who would be used as a negotiating tool to win Onaga's support. Mileena was successful in bringing Shujinko to the palace of Shao Kahn. She was no longer satisfied with just being a puppet after experiencing power for herself though, and she still had plans to reclaim the Edenian throne for herself. In the conflict of Blaze's power, Shang Tsung later killed her. In an alternate timeline retelling of the first Mortal Kombat trilogy in the year 2011, Mileena made a comeback. In this game, she debuted at the second tournament, rather than decades after Shang Tsung developed her in the Flesh Pit previously. She was intended to be Kitana's devoted replacement, but she was physically and emotionally broken, and only Shao Kahn could control her animalistic wrath. as she utilized her seductive manner to seduce villains before brutally slaying and devouring them. She was an adversary for Katana, Jade, Striker, and Cabal in the game's story mode, and Shao Kahn acknowledged her as his real daughter when he passed away at the hands of Raiden. In the Challenge Tower level of the game, Mileena killed Shang Tsung and took his soul, while Katana's alternate ending depicted her displaying exceptionally tender feelings for Mileena. 2015 saw the return of Mileena as a playable character in Mortal Kombat X. Though she succeeded Shao Kahn as Emperor of the Outworld, Mileena was quickly deposed by Kotal Khan after Reptile exposed her lineage, with her supporters either being slaughtered or being forced to join Kotal Khan. Mileena was created in the flesh pits and mutilated, gaining superhuman strength and speed, but all of this came at the expense of much of her humanity. She was cruelly sadistic and only thought about herself. She had a very unstable psychological state, as seen by her inability to control her violent inclinations. The people of her realm despised her as a leader, and a revolution ended her reign as ruler of the Outworld. Kotal Khan took the lead in the assault against her troops. She was deposed and humiliated, and she was furious that the populace had rejected her. Mileena then vowed to use the strength of Shinnok's amulet to retake the throne, since she would not concede defeat. Mileena then joined forces with Rain, Tanya, and Kano to attempt a surprise attack on Kotal Khan in Outworld. When she tried to utilize the amulet to stop herself from being executed, its power overcame her. Rain then saved her and took her away. Later, Cage located her and helped D'Vorah capture Mileena so they could get the amulet back. Mileena battled D'Vorah, but lost and was dragged to Kotal Khan, who would then decide her fate. He gave D'Vorah the order to kill Mileena by subjecting her to flesh-eating parasites, and Mileena faced a brutal ending. In Mortal Kombat 11, Mileena made a comeback as part of the Mortal Kombat 2 DLC that was published on November 17, 2020. Fans' requests led Ed Boon to include Mileena and Katana's friendship. This specific Mileena first appeared in the second tournament, having been sent to the present by Kronika, where she learned of the passing of her future self. Although she wasn't a part of Mortal Kombat's 11 original plot, she has left her mark on the series as being one of the most vicious and savage fighters throughout all realms. When her disguise is taken off, her Tarkatan heritage is visible. She possesses the sharp and numerous teeth of the race, which she uses to devour her opponents. Mileena has earned a reputation among fans as one of the most gruesome and compelling characters to appear in the franchise. Mileena's role has been limited in Mortal Kombat movies. Mileena has had an incredible impact on pop culture, with many fans and critics calling her and Katana the poster children for Mortal Kombat. She has also been named one of the hottest females in the video game world, despite her disfigured face. Her allure, mixed with the aura of danger, makes her a widely loved character. However, when it comes to film, her role has sadly been mostly limited. Dana He, a martial artist and stuntwoman, played Mileena in the 1997 film Mortal Kombat Annihilation, where she made a brief appearance. She appeared in a scene where she assaulted Sonya Blade in the desert from behind, before Sonya puts Mileena on the dirt and kicks her in the head, breaking her neck. The two engage in a violent duel. Mileena's tattoo around her shoulder then comes to life and takes off, seeing Mileena herself was far too injured to go anywhere. Although Mileena was mentioned in the final credits, her name was never used. Mileena only has one spoken remark in the whole movie, responding, "You wish," when Sonya confuses her for Katana. She has only ever been depicted wearing her hair in a plate once, resembling Katana's in-film hairdo. She was characterized by He as an unpleasant, enigmatic figure that makes you wonder, who is she? The crew tediously brought in synthetic mud for the fight scene, in which she fights Sonya Blade in 26-degree Fahrenheit temperatures at a Welsh copper mine, but a hurricane that hit close to the set the day before production forced the actors and their stunt performers to battle in actual mud. Although it was quite cool, people wish she would have appeared more frequently in the live-action versions. Mileena was a welcomed addition to the cast, and she immediately rose in prominence as one of the most well-known and recognizable Mortal Kombat characters. She received positive reviews for her first appearance in Mortal Kombat 2, with Nintendo Power describing her as lovely, elegant, charming, and powerful, but most of all, lethal. In the third Mortal Kombat movie, Mileena was supposed to make a comeback, and she did. Mileena is portrayed by actress CC Stringer in the 2021 Mortal Kombat Revival movie. Mileena is portrayed in the movie as one of Shang Tsung's henchmen, but the plot skips over her true goals, or even the explanation as to why she has a mouthful of razor-sharp teeth. After a brief scrimmage with Cole, she also meets an unexpectedly fast demise at the hands of Sonya Blade. She may, however, share her origins with the character from the video game, having the same repertoire of moves moves, but with less opportunity to showcase them. There are also some differences between how Mileena is portrayed in the movie and how fans know the character to be like. For instance, the movie version of Mileena initially sports a more modest mouth, which she unhinges to display her complete set of hideous teeth, in contrast to the video game version, which utilizes a mask to cover her malformed face and tragically stun her adversaries. She can lengthen her teeth, revealing tarkatan ones that resemble her video game appearance, even if she appears to have more human teeth in general in the film. The color of Melina's distinctive outfit and power, magenta, is likewise changed to a dark blue in the film. In the film, Mileena is also played by a young African-American woman. However, everyone can agree that Mileena, a badass character, is painfully underused in the live-action film adaptations of Mortal Kombat. It would be amazing to actually see her take on a more central role and kick some ass. What do you guys think?
As the heir to my father, Shao Kahn, I, Mileena, Khanum of Outworld.
What was the character like? Mileena appears to be quite attractive and alluring, but her mask hides a terrible secret: her disfigured tarkatan mouth lined with razor-sharp teeth. Mileena also typically dons clothing in the colors of magenta pink, her original outfit, and a plain pink leotard suit akin to Katana's. Her original outfit had a veil that displayed her mouth underneath, ponytailed hair, and also a long black robe that covers her arms and reveals her midriff and chest. It wasn't until Mortal Kombat Deception that her clothing became even more scandalous and exposing. She wore black boots and a black belt around her waist. Her Deception alternate costume, which is identical to her MK9 appearance, also features skimpy clothing. She is dressed in pink high-heeled shoes and a pink mask as well. Because of the way her outfit is made, her cleavage, midriff, abs, and muscle are all visible. In Mortal Kombat X, she wears elegant pants instead of revealing clothing, and her mouth has lips, making her look much more human. Despite having a deformed face, Mileena has also been ranked as one of the most gorgeous video game characters ever. She and Katana were both ranked 8th on Acco Games' 1997 list of the top girls in Brazil. Yu-Gi-Oh! Networks ranked Mileena as the 7th finest female fighter in 2010, despite having that big, terrifying demon mouth that she keeps hidden behind a scarf, placing her as one of the most stunning female ninja-type characters in all of entertainment. Apart from her distinctive appearance, she also has a ton of kind personality. Mileena, in contrast to Katana, is cruel, nasty, and severely deranged. She despises Katana and pursues her murder frequently because she believes Edenia should have her as a princess in Katana's place. She tends to be somewhat opportunistic, taking advantage of any opportunity to grab any power that comes her way. In addition, she is insane, vicious, and homicidal, especially when someone gets in her way of achieving her goals. Even though Mileena wants to kill Katana, there are times where she would rather see her suffer. Mileena aspires to control the outworld, like Shao Kahn, following in her father's footsteps. Additionally, she aspires to match Katana's beauty and desires everything Katana has, including her crown. In fact, instead of killing her, Mileena makes Katana ugly while becoming beautiful in her Armageddon ending. In Armageddon, Mileena wants to transform herself into a beautiful woman, while Katana turns ugly, but she wanted the ability to reign over her own empire, just like many other combatants wanted to. The ability of Blaze is sought out by many warriors who desire to become gods, champions, or the best fighters. Some seek the ability to demolish, while others wish to take other fighters' powers, while some seek to completely eradicate evil altogether. Like the majority of the other combatants, Mileena desires to resemble Katana, while also wanting to wield Blaze's strength to reign. Mileena wants her sister murdered because she's envious to her. She wishes her sister could go through what she does and understand what it's like to be her. Even though Shao Kahn caused Katana to endure suffering and lose her home and family, Mileena thinks that Katana must also suffer through the losses associated with what she has gone through, following the release of Edenia from Shao Kahn's control and the denial of the right to rule Outworld, with heroes seizing Mileena's possessions in order to defend, protect, and preserve the world. Like how everything was ripped away from her, Mileena intends to deprive Katana of everything she owns as well. Mileena and Katana are fierce rivals because Katana dislikes Mileena due to her terrific personality and horrifying appearance. Mileena dislikes Katana because of her contrasting kind personality, but she also dislikes her because she possesses qualities that she herself lacks, things like beauty and the ability to control a kingdom. However, in an alternate reality, Katana first rejects Mileena's attempts to bond with her out of hatred. She frequently gets into conflicts because of her quick temper, and she responds angrily to anyone who challenges her. She feels inferior to Katana which contributes to her animosity towards her. Her biggest ambition is to murder Kitana personally. Regardless of whether they are comrades or rivals, Mileena appears to enjoy teasing and playing with her adversaries. She is a superb fighter who loves the rush of battles as much as the blood, suffering, and agony it causes to others. Despite her desire to possess Kitana's attractiveness, Mileena enjoys observing the shocked looks on the faces of others who view her face. She enjoys the fear in her opponents and views conflict as a game. The majority of Mileena's appearances are attractive, like an Edenian, but she is strong and has a Tarkatan demeanor. She enjoys being who she is and has no remorse for what she does, but she feels inadequate without her sister's beauty. Despite this, Mileena also wants to be loved by others and is envious about how her sister can experience it, which makes her vulnerable to manipulation by others like Raiko. Mileena still has a seductive demeanor that wants to flaunt her luscious looks, even though her clothing has gotten less exposing with time. She still enjoys flaunting part of her attractiveness and donning skimpy attire. Mileena also enjoys luring people with her attractiveness, but once they see her face, she also enjoys frightening them and scaring them into subordination.
I'll risk it to have a bite.
Do it. You'll pay for it.
What made Mileena so dangerous? Mileena, who is half Tarkatan and half Ardenian, has demonstrated that she is a lethal fusion of elegance and savagery. She has demonstrated a tremendous level of agility and acrobatic prowess, as well as the ability to fight with physical power comparable to, if not superior to, that of Shao Kahn. She is also incredibly fast, making her one of the most lethal combatants in the entire series. With her lethal Tarkatan teeth, Mileena can teleport, roll, and bite the foe. She also wields a pair of Sai. She is practically Kitana's equal in strength due to the fact that she is her clone. Mileena's mastery of martial arts is lacking in Mortal Kombat released in 2011, but she makes up for it with wilder, fiercer assaults that makes her just as deadly, or even deadlier in terms of ferocity, despite being more psychologically unstable. Being Kitana's copy, Mileena shares her sister's extraordinary combat skills, aptitude, and agility. Her preference for the Sai as a weapon sets her apart from Kitana. She has the same level of skill with the Sai as Kitana does with her fans. This renders Mileena as one of the cruelest and most lethal characters in the entire franchise, especially when combined with the Tarkatan blood running in her veins and a physiology that allows for exceptional flexibility. Mileena has a lot of Kitana's Edenian body. She has managed to perfect her physical shape to the point where she can easily overpower her adversaries with her flexibility and acrobatics. Her eyes are narrow and feline, like those of the Tarkatan people. Mileena and Kitana are physically identical in every way. Well, with the obvious difference being Mileena's half-Tarkatan teeth, which was drastically reduced in size during Mortal Kombat Deception and Armageddon. Boone called Mileena the anti-Kitana, and claimed that her enormous nasty teeth were not originally intended, and they were only created for her fabled fatality as the Man-Eater, in which she swallows up her opponent's entire bodies before regurgitating their cleaned-out bones. Mileena's strength has consistently been demonstrated to be on par with that of Shao Kahn, and perhaps even other Outworld fighters in Mortal Kombat. Kitana and Mileena are nearly on par. However, despite multiple close calls in battle, Mileena has occasionally fallen short of Kitana. It should be observed that Kitana is more skillful and calmer, while Mileena is more violent and less restrained. Mileena employs her own devastating assaults, largely brute power like uppercuts and punches, often delivering ferocious strikes to her opponents. Despite having no formal training in the martial arts, she displays her might in MK9 by using all of her strength in a knee attack to smash the opponent's jaw and teeth. Her abilities have grown more powerful in Mortal Kombat X, giving her access to a variation called Ethereal that allows her to immediately shift towards objects that she has thrown to the ground. Her repertoire is further expanded in Mortal Kombat 11, which also adds brand new powers and updated versions of the classic moves. Her trademark pink aura, which is generally covered by some of her moves in contemporary games, is often combined with a blue aura. Although the reasoning for this shift is unknown, it probably alludes to her hybrid status. She has learned new techniques for using her Sai projectiles to attack foes, like laying them on the ground to explode beneath the foe, and using magic to conjure Sai daggers out of pure nothingness that hit opponents from different angles. Mileena's ability to disappear entirely complements her assassin persona, despite the fact that her whereabouts are revealed by a magic aura she wears. Her body is fully concealed even during attacks, making her enemies unaware of what she's going to do next. We can't possibly end this section without a quick rundown of her signature moves in the video games, so here are some of her more iconic moves. Soaring Sai. Mileena launches 2 purple energy charged Sai in the air at her foe. It was a charged move that could be executed in mid-air in earlier games and MK 2011. This attack, known as the Psy Blast in MK 2011, MKX, and MK11, can still be carried out in the air and is known as the Air Psy Blast. Kick from above. Mileena immediately teleports and jump kicks her opponent from above. This attack is known as Teleport Drop in MK11 and Telekick in MKX, whilst Teledrop is the name of the attack in MK11. The attack can also be carried out in the air and is also known as the Air Telekick. Leaping Neck Bite. Mileena leans forward onto the chest of her opponent and starts to nibble away at their face or neck. She will also pull out the Psy and stab the opponent repeatedly if they have one stuck in their neck when she makes this move. It may be used in MKX's Quick Take chain combo, which concludes with her kicking the foe away and can be prolonged to cause her to bite the foe more frequently. Low Psy Blast. Mileena performs the splits and unleashes a Low Psy Blast, aiming one of her Psys at the opponent's shins. When timed properly, Mileena can deflect incoming projectiles by throwing her Psy in their direction. Stabby Scotch. In this move, Mileena seizes the other player, spins them around in the opposite way, knocks them to the ground, and then places a hand on their face. Beginning with a 5-finger fillet, she quickly stabs between her fingers before rolling away. This attack has the ability to penetrate through armor. Rolling Thunder. Mileena executes a ball roll, but instead of rolling into the opponent's legs to knock them into the air, she rolls into them first, striking them several times. Cacnum Dash. Mileena uses the Cacnum Dash to run in the opposite direction of her opponent, while slipping under them by gripping their feet. She is capable of running the entire screen. Vanish. Mileena covers herself in a blue aura and temporarily disappears, becoming invisible. Even though Mileena isn't visible, she can be located thanks to the blue aura, but other than her claw attacks, there are no other sign of her assaults. This has been a non-exhaustive list since she has various moves spanning all the different games and versions that she's been in as a playable character. However, they're definitely some of the most memorable. Since Mileena's fatalities are characterized by delighted sadism and a penchant for cannibalism that is rivaled only by Reptile, her savagery endures long after the match is concluded. She may start laughing hysterically while she finishes off her opponent in some finishers. Some of her finishers, like her UMK3 Friendship and Animality, make funny allusions to her hideousness. Last but certainly not least, despite being characterized by her resentment of Katana and her bond with Baraka, Mileena manages to surpass them both. She is boisterous, arrogant, crazy, and totally erratic. She has a strange charisma about her that would make almost any plot direction a compelling one, despite her vicious temperament and the fact that she was meant to be the ultimate weapon of mass destruction. But what do you think about Mileena? Let us know in the comment section below, and if you liked our content, then please don't forget to leave a like and subscribe to us if you haven't already. For Marvelous Videos, I'm Rylan. Have a good one and be safe.
Mileena.
Kano was to kill you, miserable snake! Bronate!